The problem with this shirt is that you can't even see it. You can't even see the hiding behind my microphone and my desk are Nick and Charlie. I'm just gonna have to hold it like this the whole time. Hey everybody, it's Tom. How's it going? Should I sit way back here? Hey everybody, it's Tom. How's it going? How's it going? Hello everybody, it is Tom, and I need your help. So first of all, apologies for the lateness of this video, and as I'm recording this, I'm not even sure how late it's going to be because I managed to injure my wrist yesterday, and so I'm not sure when I will be up to editing this. But regardless, we are here today for something that is pretty awesome and pretty exciting, at least I think so, and something which, as I already said, I do need your help for. Most of you are aware that I recently released 2 queer young adult books, Dreamers and The Boy Who Was Kissed. Now, because they were published by small presses that don't really do audiobooks, we have ebook and paperback versions of those books, but no audiobook version. And you know, I'm a big fan of audiobooks myself, but even if I wasn't, it's really an accessibility issue. Like, there are people out there who genuinely need audiobooks, and when a book does not have an audio version, they just have no way of reading it. So with that in mind, I have been in contact with some really excellent voice actors, and we are going to try to make audiobooks of both Dreamers and The Boy Who Was Kissed. Yay, it's hard to clap when your wrist is messed up. Unfortunately, professionally made audiobooks cost money, and since I'm, poor, the only way to get these audiobooks made is via crowdfunding. So if you are on the Patreon, you have already seen the 1,000 or so posts I've made asking for input about this. But after a lot of thought and reading through all of your excellent feedback, here's what I've decided to do. So as of today, the Kickstarter for the audiobook of Dreamers is officially being launched. And if you're not familiar with the book, it is a wholesome, trans, coming-of-age story with paranormal elements, queer friendships, supportive adults, and a nice little queer love story at its center. So if the Kickstarter succeeds, we will wait a month or so and then launch the one for The Boy Who Was Kissed. Now, if you've been onto the community tab here on YouTube, you may have noticed that I recently ran a poll asking if I should combine these 2 projects into one Kickstarter or create separate ones for each. And people overwhelmingly voted to combine them. So why then? Why am I openly ignoring the input of the masses and doing things this way? Well, allow me to explain. So the voice actor for Dreamers, who is a young trans Latino voice actor who is really just absolutely perfect for the role, has access to a home recording studio, meaning no additional studio fees. And with that, plus me doing the editing of the audiobook myself, this voice actor has been able to very kindly offer me a reduced rate. So as such, the total funding we will need for the Dreamers audiobook, including Kickstarter fees, processing fees, all of that, comes to around $1,000. Now, the audiobook for The Boy Who Was Kissed, which will be narrated by an amazing trans, Black, Latino voice actor in a professional studio with professional editing and all that wonderfulness, comes to a more typical fee of around $3,100, which we are rounding up to $3,500 to cover the Kickstarter fees and all that stuff. So here's my thinking. So instead of smooshing these 2 projects into one Kickstarter and risking neither of them getting funded, we are going to give Dreamers a shot first. It's a smaller goal, and that not only means it has a better chance of being funded, but it's going to help me to gauge the interest level in funding these audiobooks in general. So if Dreamers does not get funded, we will know there is not much chance that The Boy Who Was Kissed, at a much higher price tag, will get funded either. Also, the voice actor for The Boy Who Was Kissed actually isn't available for a few months, so even if we got the project funded right away, we wouldn't be able to start for a while anyway. So the plan is, we try to fund Dreamers first. If we do it, we wait a month or so that there's a greater chance that if someone wants to contribute to both projects, they can actually afford to do that. And then we launch our second, more ambitious Kickstarter and hope for the best. Now, if the worst happens and neither project gets funded, there will still be audiobooks for these books, but they will be of a much lower quality because I will be recording them myself. So that would involve a lot of time and labor and probably aggravation and frustration on my end because I'm not a professional at either recording or, producing audiobooks, and the end product will definitely not be as good as it could be. So I am hoping that we can avoid that if at all possible. But I do want people to know that I intend to make these audiobooks available regardless. It's just a question of how good they will be. So yeah, there we are. Now, what can you, person who is watching this video, do to help? First and foremost, if you are able to donate, please consider doing so. There are some pretty neat rewards depending on how much you donate, so definitely check those out over on the Kickstarter page. For example, if you donate $10 or above, you get thanked in my next video. If you donate $20 or above, you automatically get a free copy of the audiobook when it comes out, which is pretty cool. In the reward tiers above that, we have an invite to the virtual audiobook launch party, access to exclusive bonus content, including stories from other characters in the Dreamers universe, like everyone's favorite metalhead and BFF, Jackson. And finally, at the $100 level, you will be acknowledged by name in the actual audiobook recording. Now, I do also want to say that if you are someone who doesn't want to be thanked or doesn't feel comfortable being thanked or acknowledged, that's totally okay too. Just leave a note with your donation or contact me and let me know, and I'll make sure that your name is not mentioned. So the second thing you can do to help is to share news of this Kickstarter. You can make your own social media posts or feel free to share mine. I'm going to be promoting this on Instagram and Twitter as well as here on YouTube, possibly TikTok, though we'll see on that one. But yeah, the further the word spreads, the more likely it is that we'll get this project funded. Dreamers is a book I put a lot of myself into, and it's a book I would love for readers, especially young readers, to be able to access in any form they need. So whether you're a fan of the book or you just want to support an accessibility project, a trans author, and a very talented voice actor, please consider dropping a few dollars or a lot of dollars, that's up to you and your bank account, to fund this Kickstarter. So we're going to have 30 days to do it, and if we don't hit that funding goal in that time, the project doesn't get funded and everyone gets their money back. So, no pressure, but also kind of a little bit of pressure. Also, in the unlikely event that we end up raising more than our goal, that extra money will be funneled into funding the next audiobook project for The Boy Who Was Kissed. So the more we raise on this one, the less we'll have to raise for the next one. Okay, and that's about it. Check the description below for a link to the Kickstarter, and thank you in advance to anyone who is able to donate or even just share this project on social media or with their friend or their cat or anyone who might like to help out. So maybe not your cat, because your cat probably does not have access to money. But if they do, please encourage them to donate. So massive thanks as always to our patrons, who are amazing and wonderful and awesome, even when they're not helping me figure out the minutia of crowdfunding. And a special shout out to our Nick Nelson members, Kelly Walker, Paul Z, Kent Smither, Kim Engel, Lauren Javier, and Mark Walker. Okay, that's going to do it for today. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever time of day it may happen to be. I'll see you next time. All right, bye.